Hello, and welcome to another session of 10 questions in 10 minutes. This time we're sitting down with our PR expert, Angela Ash. Angela, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me, Gabby. I've been super excited to do one of these with you. And here we are. It's the big day.
Here we are. Okay, let's jump into the first question, which is what role does branding play in a successful digital PR campaign?
Okay, so I think that branding really establishes who or what your company is, and perhaps even more importantly, how others relate to it. When you're looking at how to brand your company, your website, t-shirts even, you have to just remember that different things mean different things to different people. So it's important to really pay attention to your target audience and then just try to create everything around them and make sure that you're always providing them with content that is of actual value to them.
So I guess that takes me to my second question, which is how can a strong branding help secure backlinks in high authority sites?
Okay, so this year I was lucky enough to go to my very first Brighton SEO, and I was super excited and I didn't know exactly what to expect. So I go in, I sit down at the table with my good friend and coworker, Helene, and one of the first things I hear is branding comes before backlinks. And I was like, okay, I'm going to love this place. These are my people. Because I've always been just a super firm believer that before you can go out and try to make yourself attractive to people to actually want to backlink to your site, they have to know who you are. They have to know what you're about. So you have to make sure that you've really done your research, you've done your job when it comes to branding before you actually expect other people to know exactly what you're about. You want to be able to look at someone and know that they know, hey, that's Angela. You don't want to have to say, hi, I'm Angela every single time.
So I guess that also takes me to why is consistency in messaging across channels important for digital PR?
Okay, again, you just have to establish your brand's voice. I always like to say that recognition builds relevance. When people see something that you've written or they know that you have a big article coming out, they already have an idea of what you're about. People know what to expect. So whether you're writing an expert quote, you're doing some research, some data, people kind of know what you're about. And I always like to say, whenever you're creating content or you're doing some branding strategies, leave little breadcrumbs of your own personality. So sometimes you'll see that I create a post and there's unicorns everywhere because I believe if we're in this space, we really are all truly unicorns. So sometimes you just have to admit who you are, what you are, and own it. And then other people will be much more comfortable with your idea of branding as well.
That sounds that sounds magical actually with the unicorns and everything. So going back to the topic of backlinks, how does building a brand trust lead to more natural backlinks?
Okay, so natural backlinks are obviously sometimes a little more difficult for some brands than actually going on platforms and submitting quotes and things like that. You really have to be a trusted brand. You have to be an expert in your field. And that's not to say that you don't have to be that for expert quotes as well, because you absolutely do. But for people to just organically find your content and want to backlink to it, you have to build trust with them. And they not only trust your branding and your content and your strategies, but they have to trust you as a person. They may see that you're active on LinkedIn and see the type of comments that you leave, the things that you agree with, the things that you don't agree with. And then they'll want to share your posts, your research, your data, and anything else that they think could be valuable to their users as well.
So, will you say that having a well-known brand reduces the need for cold outreach in PR?
Well, sadly, everyone needs cold outreach. I'd love to say that eventually as a company you get to a point to where you're there. You've made it. Everyone knows who you are. You know who all the big players are, and you don't necessarily need to spend that time, combing through sites and programs and using tools to do this type of cold outreach. But the thing is you can't ever get to a plateau. So you're always trying to do better than you did the day before. So when this happens, this again is where branding comes in. When you are doing cold outreach, people will recognize you if you've done your job, and more likely than not, they'll be more receptive to what you have to say. If they've seen that you've written a guest post, they've seen you on a website, maybe they've even seen you on a comment that you made on one of their coworkers' LinkedIn pages, So it's really important that you always stay out there, network, collaborate, and then your cold outreach may not be quite as cold.
So, I guess another question that we often get is how do brand mentions without links still impact digital PR success?
Well, the good thing is it's still your name. And chances are that if your brand is being mentioned, it could be in a type of roundup, it could be in a guide, and more than likely, you're also being mentioned with other industry experts. So this is something where it's kind of that big moment, like I made it, I'm in this article with a brand that I've looked up to for the last 5 years, and there is something definitely to be said about the company that you keep. So, when you see yourself in an article with a lot of other companies whose values you respect, then that's a pretty good feeling.
It is. Um, how can LinkedIn play a part in bringing in branding for digital PR success?
So I've always been a huge fan of LinkedIn, but recently I've like fallen in love with LinkedIn. Like I want to take LinkedIn to the movies with me. I will share my Coke and my popcorn. I'm just like so happy to have finally realized why people are excited about LinkedIn. It helps build your network with a like-minded group. They'll pay attention to the stories that you weave about your brand, and I think it's just a way to really have that platform to be not just a brand ambassador, but a storyteller. So you can talk about your vision. You can just do all sorts of things. It's so much fun. But you can leave authentic comments about things that you're passionate about. I I used to like stand in the grocery line and look through other social media platforms, things for fun, personal things. Now I'm standing there looking through LinkedIn. And it's just because I guess I'm to the point where I don't want to miss out on an opportunity. And it's like every time I click on that app, I find something cool, I meet someone interesting, and I learn something. Like for example, it's just super important to also find really great people in communities to follow. Like I can't say enough about WTS, Women in Tech SEO. They're just amazing. They have just built this community and everyone feels a part of it. It's so inclusive and diverse, and it's just every time I go to their page, I just learn new things, and I see all of these like collaborations going on between other just these brilliant people, and it's inspiring and it's fun. And if you're not actively participating in LinkedIn, then you're really missing out.
Well, Angela, thank you so much for being with us today. It was a really insightful call. We hope everyone enjoyed, and we hope to have you soon in the section again.
Yeah, sounds great. I hope to. Thanks, Gabby.
Bye.
Bye.